Have you ever seriously wondered what separates the super rich from, well, everyone else? It's probably not what you think. You know the late great entrepreneur Felix Dennis? He laid out this brutally honest roadmap, but it wasn't for success, it was for failure. So today, we're diving headfirst into his 8 reasons why most people will never, ever get rich. It's a tough pill to swallow, but trust me, it's a crucial one.
So let's just get right to it. Why? Why do so many people try so hard, but never seem to make it big? It's definitely not just about getting lucky or who your parents are. According to Dennis, the real reasons are way more personal. And actually, they're much more in our control than we probably want to admit.
Okay, so the secret sauce for this whole explainer is this really cool mental model called inversion. Basically, instead of asking, how do I win? We're gonna flip it on its head and ask, what makes people lose? Because if you can figure out what all the pitfalls are and then just avoid them, well, the path to success gets a whole lot clearer. So yeah, we're about to learn how not to get rich.
All right, first up, our first big set of roadblocks. They're all external. They're about that immense pressure we feel from everyone around us, and how that crippling fear of what they'll think can stop us dead in our tracks before we even start.
And here it is, the first major reason. It sounds almost too simple, right? But think about how deep this runs. That need for social approval, to fit in, to not make waves. It is such a powerful force. It's like this invisible electric fence that keeps people playing it safe, too scared to chase those big, crazy, unconventional ideas.
And boom, Felix Dennis just nails it with this quote. He's basically saying the road to real wealth demands a certain kind of audacity. You have to be willing to be misunderstood, maybe even laughed at for a while. If you're constantly worried about keeping up with the Joneses, you're never going to take the weird risks that actually pay off. Oh man, this next one. This one can really hit close to home. The journey to building real wealth is almost never a smooth, stable ride. Especially not at the beginning, right? It's usually pretty lonely and just full of risk. And that chaos, it doesn't just affect you. It sends these ripple effects of anxiety to the people who care about you the most. Your partner, your parents, your family.
So what he's really saying is you need a thick skin. And not just for random critics, but for the genuine concerns of your inner circle. Dennis says you just can't let their fear become your fear. The advice is to surround yourself with people who are maybe a little braver than you are, so they become your allies, not another obstacle to overcome.
Okay, let's shift gears. We've talked about the pressures from the outside world, but now we've got to turn inward. Because, you know, a lot of the time, the biggest barriers we face are the ones we build inside our own minds.
Now, this next one is kind of tricky because it highlights a really important conflict. Dennis isn't knocking artists here. In fact, the source material calls it a noble and worthy path. But he argues that there's a fundamental clash between creating pure, uncompromised art and the commercial mindset you need to build wealth.
And you can see the 2 paths laid out right here. The artist's path is all about integrity to your vision. But the path to riches, that often means you have to compromise that vision for what the market actually wants to buy. It's about putting commercial first. You kind of have to decide which game you're really playing. I know, this one seems so obvious. Work hard, duh. But it's way deeper than just not being lazy. We are talking about a totally different level of effort. The kind of work you do after your day job is done. The work you do on weekends when everyone else is relaxing. That's the stuff.
And there you have it, straight from the man himself. It's not just about working hard. It's about outworking pretty much everybody. This insane level of effort, when you point it at the right thing, is what creates opportunities. It's what generates what the source calls luck. Not random chance, but the kind of luck that you make yourself through sheer hustle and persistence.
Okay, this one is a monster. A huge psychological hurdle. It's that little voice in your head, that deep down belief that you're just not good enough to be wealthy. And this creates something psychologists call cognitive dissonance. You want something, but you don't believe you should have it. That internal battle, it almost always leads to self-sabotage.
And check out how investor Naval Ravikant explains what happens next.
When you don't truly believe you can get rich, it's just easier to decide that the whole system is rigged, or that money is evil. You start attacking the very thing you want. It's a classic self-fulfilling prophecy. If you resent wealth, you're pretty much guaranteed to push it away.
So with all these deep-seated fears and self-limiting beliefs, how do you even begin to overcome them? Well, this next section offers a really powerful mindset shift. It's all about reframing the entire quest. This right here,
This is a total game changer. Once your basic needs are covered, you have food on the table and a roof over your head, Dennis argues that the hunt for more wealth has to stop being this life or death struggle. It needs to feel like a game, with points and levels and a sense of fun. This totally lowers the psychological stakes and frees you up to take those smart, calculated risks.
So what kind of game is it? It's what's called a positive sum game. And this is a super important idea to get. It means wealth isn't a fixed pie. It's not like a pizza where if I take a slice, there's less for you. In our economy, new value, new wealth is being created all the time. Your success doesn't have to mean someone else loses.
We've covered a lot of ground, right? Fear of what people think, fear of hard work, not believing in yourself. But now we're going to tie it all together, because it turns out all of these different reasons, they're really just symptoms of one single underlying cause.
Okay, so get this. We're gonna loop all the way back to the very beginning. Remember that first reason we talked about? Caring what other people think? Well, it turns out that was just the tip of the iceberg. The most important lesson of all was hiding in plain sight this whole time.
This quote connects all the dots. Caring what others think, worrying your family, not even starting because you might not be good enough, it all boils down to one thing: a deep, terrifying fear of failure. And not just failing, but failing out in the open where everyone can see.
So if we strip away all the excuses and all the surface level reasons, what's left? What is the one thing that stops more people than anything else?
That's it. Just one word: fear. The fear of being embarrassed, the fear of looking like an idiot, the fear of having to admit you were wrong and crawl back to your old life. It is the great dream killer.
And that is Felix Dennis's final word on it, straight from a lifetime of experience. He's not saying it's one of the obstacles. He's saying it is the single biggest one. And mastering this fear, that's the most important work you can ever do on this path.
So you see, this explainer wasn't really about why you'll fail. It was a roadmap of what you need to confront, and it all comes back to you. The question isn't just some theory, it's personal. So looking at this list, which of these fears is holding you back right now? And what's the first tiny step you can take to start conquering it?